Yeah, can you able to hear me, everyone? Okay, hi. Sorry for the delay. I had some issues with the system. Okay, fine. So, as we discussed yesterday regarding the approach to the process, what we are going to see and all. So today we will be possibly continuing with how do we take it further. Okay. Did anyone join newly for today? Anyone join newly for today?
Hi, I have joined.
Yeah, hi. Yeah, can you please introduce yourself?
My name is Aarti. I have a 10 years experience in support and manual testing. I'm
Okay.
from Bangalore.
Okay, you're from Bangalore.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, great. Yeah. So the reason you want to learn Python?
Currently, I'm in a BPO, so to switch job.
Great, great. Okay. So you want to switch to Python? Okay, that's fine. So anyone else? Yeah, anyone else newly joined today? Okay. Anyone else newly joined today who was not there yesterday?
Yeah, this is Gnaneshwar. I've joined today.
Yeah, hi Ganesh. Yeah, please tell me about yourself.
Yeah, like I have 12 years of experience in software testing and new to automation. Just I would like to know about the Selenium. Actually, I was looking for Selenium with Java. So it's this uh, Selenium with Python's newly started, right? So they asked me
Yeah.
to attend this demo. So that's what I'm attending.
Okay. Okay. Fine. Yeah. Mhm. So yeah. So anyone else? Anyone else? I've seen Ajay Krishna, Ajay Kumar. Are you new or you're already there yesterday?
This started today or like long back it
It
started?
it started yesterday actually. So
Okay.
today, I mean, it's just a demo again. All of these days are demo again. Yeah.
Okay, like
Yeah,
what is the
Ajay.
difference like with Java and Python? So, what is the difference?
Yeah, I would explain it. I would explain it.
Yeah,
Yes. So yeah. So Ajay recently joined. Jnaneshwar is different, right? Jnaneshwar and Ajay is different.
yes.
Okay, you're Ajay, right? You're speaking now.
No, this is Gnaneshwar.
Okay, okay. Fine. So yeah, fine. Just want to know everyone first because before we start our process, we want to make sure that what is a audience capability and what is their own introduction, so that we can have a very clear cut idea on what we can able to teach on the perspective of process. So that would be the main criteria that we want to take up. Yes, as I said you again, I would be repeating the content which I had yesterday as well. So we are going to see Python with Selenium over here. Python with Selenium in specific, we are going to see web application testing. Okay, using Selenium in Python language. So that is the way. So what we are going to see is we're going to see a complete end-to-end syllabus. I will be sharing you the syllabus. You can just find out the syllabus in the website of Durgasoft. Okay. You can just go through the syllabus. Okay, this is the complete syllabus which we are going to see. We're going to see the complete Python basics from the scratch. Okay, and for the initial days, for people who doesn't have any knowledge on Python. So it would be a very good understanding for them. People who has good knowledge, they can get a revise for that. And we'll start with the Selenium concepts. So we'll be going with the complete end-to-end concepts of Selenium, like from the scratch, from the installation to automate anything in the website or a web application, like automating the drop-down functionality, drag and drop, pop-ups, window pop-ups, frames, cookies, mouse actions, scroll web pages, capture screenshots, reading Excel, all these things, logging, everything will be seen as part of the Selenium concept. Then we'll start with the frameworks. So this is a very solid syllabus, which can, as I said you earlier, very solid syllabus. This would pertain you an experience of around 3 to 4 years to the max, as I said earlier. Okay, so this is a complete end-to-end syllabus which can cover you every concepts of Selenium with Python, and on top of it we'll also discussing some of the concepts which will help you out in understanding basics of Python, as well as API testing. That is what we are also covering over here. So as you know that in the market, the people are also asking, along with the API, along with the web application testing, they'll also expect you API testing to some extent. So we also discussed that's an add-on, and Python Basics is an add-on for this course, along with Selenium with Python. So we'll be covering every framework as part of it, every framework which are very much widely used in the market. So we'll be discussing on unit test framework, and we'll be discussing all the concepts of unit test framework. And we'll be having an approach of page object model, which will you can understand a very clear about how to design pattern of page object model, how it works out. And data driven approach, this is completely with Python. Data driven approach, how do we read the data from the different sources, maybe from the Excel sheet and all. So we'll be also seeing a BDD framework as part of Selenium. BDD framework, how to write the step definition files, feature files, how to run the tests, and how to integrate and all. We'll be seeing as part of BDD. Then coming to the PyTest, which is very famous. So in Python, these are very famous frameworks which are widely used in the market, and every company use almost. So we'll be seeing complete end-to-end PyTest, and third-party reporting tools also will be seeing completely, integration with page object model with the reporting tools and all. So then we'll completely see the complete end-to-end project, understanding the data, the folder structures, how exactly the framework is built from the scratch, what are the different files to be created, and how exactly the framework is being managed and all. We'll be seeing that. Then we'll be seeing something called Git and Jenkins as part of the process. Git and Jenkins is again yeah, CI/CD as well, version control platform. We'll be seeing how to create our how to push our codes to the Git repository, and then build our application in the Jenkins. So we'll be seeing that. Then we'll see a complete real-time end-to-end project on what we have discussed previous, or which is basically an hybrid framework, which we'll be covering as part of real-time project. Then I'll be seeing as part of API testing, which is again an add-on to the course. So API testing is very much used, very much been popular in the market, along with the web-based testing, because the companies are expecting not only on the website, they are also expecting on the API side. So we'll also have a good exposure to Postman tool, and then we'll be seeing the REST API testing majorly in Python, all the HTTP methods, validation, and then variables collections of Postman tool, and then validations will be seen out. So this is a complete syllabus which we are going to cover, and then we'll also see interview preparation and all stuff. I hope you're clear, right, everyone? Okay. Any doubts on the syllabus? Newly joined people, because yesterday we discussed the same. People, so there are quite some people who joined today. With them, I just want to make sure.
So all the framework will be explained thoroughly, right?
Yes. So coming to the framework, we'll be discussing complete end-to-end framework. Uh, we'll be discussing about the different frameworks, how exactly the framework works, and what are the different ways. Suppose coming to PyTest framework, we'll be discussing
Python
how to
also
run
open
parallel
source,
test cases. Sorry,
uh, like Java, Python also
Python,
open source.
yes. Python is also open source. Python is open source.
Like it's already popular Selenium with Java. So why this concept came into
Yes,
the market like Python? Where is the major
yes.
advantages compared to Java with Selenium and Python?
Yeah. So let me just make it very clear. So the reason Python came into picture is two ways. As you know that Python is a very popular programming language and scripting language which is existing in the market. Okay. So we know that Java with Selenium is very popular. So Java API bindings we can able to integrate with I mean Java, the API bindings of Selenium we can integrate with Java, and then we can able to you know write our process. But whereas in Python, so the reason Python came into picture is that Python is very simple to understand for anyone who is very starting to the process, as well who wants to shift domain. So people, it is very simple for the test engineers to write the code compared to Java, because Java is a bit complex compared to Python, which has been considered in the market. Second thing, as Python is a scripting language, it can easily try to integrate with the third-party tools and other kind of integrations whenever required as part of our automation. I hope you understood what I said. Okay, because it supports the scripting process. So that is the reason it has a capability to integrate, and it has a capability to you know uh, try to manage the process very perfectly. So in all the other terms as well, in understanding the scripts, writing the script, the complexity of the scripts, automation script, then integration of different tools. So even though the popularity wise, still the Java is popular, but Python is an emerging programming scripting language which is there in market. Almost every companies in Python, I mean, which was developed their scripts in Java, were trying to migrate to Python. The reason, because the structure, the approach of Python with Selenium is a bit simpler, and it can do the same task. It can do the same activities what Java can do. I mean, the Java programming, JavaScripts can do the same coding and the same way you can write in Python in a very simpler way. I hope you're the functionality is not affecting. Okay, but the process becomes very simple. So which makes the companies to migrate to Python who was into Java. So I'll just give you examples. The complexity, suppose in Java is been considered like 50%, but in Python it is considered to be like 25% to 30%. So it is very simple. A person can easily write Python code compared to Java. And the scripts, the way you understand the script, the way you arrange the scripts, so that will be more simpler in Python, and it can do the same task with Java is there. I hope you understood, right? What is the reason? So if you see till in market, as I said you, uh, there are huge openings in Python. You can just go through Naukri or any other websites. There are huge openings in Python. Around, you can find around out of 100% which was there in market for Selenium Python, because for every company there should be a test engineer required. Okay, so nowadays every company is expecting an automation testing. So it doesn't mean that you wants to be only on the manual side. You are they're also expected to gain a knowledge on automation testing and to write scripts and to design frameworks. If someone is an experience of 5 to 6 years, who's working in a company. So he's expected to not just write the scripts, expected to design the framework from the scratch, understand the application process, understand the flow of the application, and if it is already built, the application or the framework is already built, you are supposed to understand it and to enhance the framework. This is what the expectation of market is all about. So what exactly experienced person is supposed to do over here is, so they have to know how to design a framework from the scratch, how to enhance the framework if that is already existing, because whatever the company you works, so people expect you this. So on top of it, they also expect you a real-time exposure on agile process and all. This is what the market expectation is. So what I mean to say here is, compared to Java, Python is Python is bit simpler in coding and understanding, and it can integrate with the third-party tools and all in a simpler way, in an easy way. So compared to the complexity of Java, so that is the reason people are migrating to it. There are bit advantages still in Java as well, and compared to Python. So, but yeah, so you can see out of 100%, if you see in market, so still the market, now the market is migrating. Initially it was around 70-80% in Java. Now you can see like 45% in Java, and the rest you can see around 35% to Python. I mean, I hope you're getting right. So you can see 50% somewhere, 50% in Java, and then 35% to Python, and then the other languages can be C#, can be Ruby and Rails, Perl, and other languages could be covering 15%. So you can see 40% now, because as it is, booming like anything. So this is what the market standards are. You can just go through Google and go for Naukri. You can find hundreds of jobs with Python and Selenium. Hundreds of jobs, not 1-2 jobs. Every company, almost every company, is migrating to Python now. Okay.
I have one doubt.
Yeah. Any doubts?
Yeah. So regarding what you said, we should be able to like automate the framework by ourselves, right? Like create a framework or something. So will this course help?
Yes, exactly. So what I'm going to do in this course is, I will try to separately say you all the frameworks. So when it has been considered, suppose unit test framework, I'll be explaining you completely, and what are the different things that are there in unit test framework. So one by one, we'll be seeing as part of every framework. Coming to the next framework, PyTest. So we will be trying to see complete end-to-end methods and end-to-end process that are there as part of PyTest framework. So again, data-driven approach. So we will try to see every framework process. So then we will create a complete what do you say structure, wherein we can able to integrate all this kind of frameworks or any of these frameworks like hybrid framework. Then we'll create an end-to-end project. So one complete project where we'll be integrating the reporting, third-party reporting tools, and the frameworks, and multiple test cases. If suppose if there is requirement, we'll also see page object model integration. So it is all about, I'll be discussing one by one every framework, then I'll be combining all the frameworks and give end-to-end project, which can make you understand how to design a complete framework, how exactly the framework works out in real time. And yeah, you will really get a good exposure to the process.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes.
Also, will you provide a video lecture and the notes?
Yes. So we'll be providing video lecture. Every class that is being taught will be recorded from the team, and they'll be sharing you the videos, and notes will be shared from whatever we discuss in the class.
So it will be same way, is it?
Sorry?
The notes and recorded videos, will it be shared on same day?
Yes. They will be shared on the. You will be provided some Google Drive access where you can able to get your videos. You can just go and get them once batch is confirmed.
Okay, yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
What is the duration of this course?
The duration of this course would be 30 to 35 days of working days. As we know, Saturday and Sunday is holiday.
Okay.
So it will be, yeah, if you could see in duration, it would take 1.5 months. So will be completing. Meanwhile, you can parallelly prepare, attend the interviews as well. I'll be telling you when you can start attending the interviews.
Okay.
So we would see Python basics. Shall we start our Python basic class? Okay. So can I ask you a question? Do anyone have experience on Python before, or everyone is new to this? Anyone have good knowledge on Python? Anyone knows Python, or uh, anyone
No,
doesn't
Raj.
know?
No.
Sorry, no. So can I know who are those who doesn't know Python? Anything about Python?
I know a little basics.
Okay. So anyone else? Rest all know Python, right?
I don't know.
No, we don't know.
We don't know. That's what I'm saying.
Okay. You don't know. Okay. Fine. Great. Yeah. So we'll start today about our process. So as our syllabus says, we'll be seeing the Python basics. We'll complete the process. Then we'll be seeing our Selenium and all. Okay. So you have any questions for me? Any questions for me in any ways, in any other ways?
Will we have practice programs also? So it will be
Yeah,
good for.
I'll be sharing you practice program.
Okay.
Okay. So today I want to explain you along with Python. I want to explain you something called agile process. So do anyone have idea on agile methodology?
Yeah, I
What
do
is
have idea.
you have been working in companies, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Anyone has any other people have experience on agile?
Yes, I do have.
Great. Yeah. So today I'll be explaining you basics of agile, how exactly the agile process happens, and then we'll start with Python basics. Okay. So basically, there are different types of software development methodologies, or you can say life processes, out of which agile methodology is one of the process. Okay, which is basically been implemented by multiple organizations or multiple companies as part of their organization structure in order to make their own process. So how exactly the agile process happens? So there are multiple stakeholders, multiple participants as part of agile. So if you see in a company, the company, if I want to release a product, so let me explain you about the process of agile. If I want to release a product to market, before that there are multiple things that happens. So there are different people in agile projects called product owner. There is someone called product owner. There is someone called business analyst. There is someone called scrum master, and you can find developers, both the front end developers and back end developers. There is anyone, and then test engineers and deployment engineers, or you can say DevOps engineers. So this many people will be involved as part of your agile process. So I'll just give you example. Suppose I'm working for a, suppose I'm working for a company called TCS, and I'm supposed to deliver a product to a company called, suppose a company in America, maybe called BNY, Bank of New York Mellon. This is my client, suppose. So what is the process of Agile? Agile is basically, it's a methodology where your development will happen step by step, and your whole process will happen step by step. As we know, there are multiple processes like waterfall model, you have a spiral model, V model, VB model, increment model. So there are multiple models that are there in SDLC. So out of which Agile is one of it. So what is the difference between all these models and Agile is, Agiles will make the process step by step. So you can say there are multiple terminologies that we call what we see in our Agile. Okay, like you see sprint. Okay, duration of sprint will be there. Then there is something called stories. We have a Jira tool. There is a complete process that we follow. I'll explain you later on. So suppose if the company called A, TCS wants to deliver a product to BNYM, what the process happens is here. So there will be multiple people in Agile. They in Agile process, these people will be called in this way. So product owner will be there, business analyst will be there, Scrum Master will be there, a developer will be there, test engineer will be there, and DevOps engineer. So what happens? The product owner is a person who will be on the client end. He will be on the client end. So what he will be, he is the responsible for the complete product. Suppose, see, I'll give you example. You are supposed to develop an application. Okay, maybe a banking application. So what this product owner is, the person, he is a person from the BNYM side. Okay, I said you in the example wise. So what he is supposed to do, he is supposed to, he responsible for the whole product. So he is supposed to make complete this project at the end. So he is the responsible person for this whole product. So he will be giving a complete idea on what has to be added, what has to be removed in the application, what are the functionalities to be developed, and everything will be responsible by the product owner. So business analyst will be the second person, who is a person who can understand the requirements from the product owner and make it available for the uh, downstream people like Scrum Master, developers, and testing. So business analysts will be there as part of your Agile process. Okay. What happens? So if I want to develop any application, product owner is a person who is responsible for that application. So what he will do, he will try to share all the requirements to the business analyst. So business analyst is a person, he has to do the analysis of these requirements and to write the stories and to design the stories. So stories is again a terminology that we use as part of our Agile, and you can say it is in Jira particularly. So he will write each and every requirement. You can say you can each and every feature. He can write. He will write. Oh, this is suppose login functionality. So login functionality should be like this. Okay, the requirement of login. Whenever we are trying to put this input, the output should be like this. So there are some of these functionalities. Every functionality which has been explained or which has been provided by the product owner has to be designed in a proper way and been analyzed by the business analyst. So what this business analyst, majorly these two people will be from the client side. Sometimes product owner will be only on the client side and other people will be from the TCS people. I said you right. So suppose we are working for a project in BNYM, which is a client project. So product owner will be a banking person, that will be a person from the BNY, but all the other people may be from the TCS, or else some of them from their team and some of them from our team. So that depends on their project, whatever the project which we are allocated. So what happens here, the business analyst, once he has written each and every requirement very clearly, so he will share the requirements to the Scrum Master. Okay, Scrum Master is a person who has to make sure that the sprint is working properly. He has to, keep up, make sure he has to assign what story has to go for whom. He has to say, okay, suppose business analyst is giving this many requirements, he is giving some requirements on the development end, he is giving requirements on the testing end, he is giving requirements on the deployment end. So all the requirements will be analyzed. The Scrum Master, what he will do, he will assign to whom it is supposed to be assigned. So he will give all the requirement stories to the requirement developers. So he will say, developers, boss, there are some 10 requirements, you have to complete this 10 requirements in this many days. So that assign, the Scrum Master is a person who is responsible for making sure that sprint is working. Sprint is nothing but time duration. Got it, right? So in Agile, we say something called sprint. Sprint is nothing but it's a time duration. Normally, it is 2 week or 1 week sprint, which we see. Okay, in Agile, this is called, it is a terminology which we use. It is called time duration. So you are supposed to complete everything as part of your sprint. Okay, so what this Scrum Master is doing, Scrum Master is a person who is responsible for this whole process, or he will be conducting all the meetings. Every day we'll have a stand-up meetings. Okay, he will be conducting the retrospective meetings. He'll be conducting the sprint pre-planning meetings. So he is responsible for, he or she is responsible for complete planning of your Agile. Okay, so the person, he'll be majorly a business person, he'll be not a person. So normally in companies, business analyst and Scrum Master may be same or maybe different, but Scrum Master is a person who is responsible for conducting the meetings, making sure your sprint is on time, you're completing all the stories, you're trying to complete the whole process. Got it, right? So he will conduct multiple meetings, making sure that there is no wrong with that process. So I hope you're getting right, everyone is getting right. So all these people will be there in real time. Suppose, hello, any doubts,
Yes.
guys, any doubts?
No, sir.
Yeah.
Mm.
So what happens, so the Scrum Master is a person who is responsible for what, who is responsible to make sure that the whole sprint, that means we have to say what happens, the development will not be happened all together. So what happens, the development will be happened step by step in not. So I would explain you the process, what is exactly the thing. So if you could see an application which I was working on, so that you can able to understand the process. Okay, so what happens in real time, suppose I was working for a company, for a project, for a client. I'll give you a clear idea on what is happening and all. Okay, don't worry, there are multiple validations that we have to do before I launch anything yet. I'll pick up an task. Okay, so whatever it is. So if you could see the Agile board, this is called Agile board. Agile board is nothing but it is, you can say that this is a Jira. This is a Jira which was customized to our company. So this is a Jira. In this Jira, you could see multiple different things. You could see backlog, you could see active sprints, you could see releases, you could see reports, you could see all the everything in Jira. Jira is a tool which is a PMP tool. Okay, all this process will be managed in Jira. So all the stakeholders, all the persons will be there as part of project management tool, where you can able to, you will be assigned with the tickets. Okay, you have to complete your task, you have to raise the bugs, you can write your test cases. Okay, you can track your reports, track your bugs. So it is a complete end-to-end application where all the developers, all the people will be put down in one place. Okay, you can see, right, you can see multiple people. So you can see when I say only my issues, so there are some automation issues where I have to move it to I have to test it and I have to move it into the process. Okay, so you could see, right, you could see if I see active sprints. So active sprint is it, what are the sprints that are active? So what happens, there will be something like the Scrum Master, what he will be doing, he'll be creating all the tasks, okay, and he'll be keeping it in to do task. So whichever been created by the Scrum Master for all the people, not only for the developers. So what he will do, the Scrum Master, once he has got the requirement from the business analyst, okay, this all task will be done in Jira. Jira is a tool which is a project management. So what this Scrum Master will do, he will assign all the development activities. So he will say, boss, developers are 10 people. There are 5 developers in my project. So every developer, that depends on the requirement. So suppose you take 2 tasks, someone take 2 tasks like that, he will assign, or he or she will assign the task to the developers. So and he will assign the task in the to-do list. To-do list means you are supposed to do. So every task will be assigned to everyone. So once every task is assigned, so what happens, these developers will pick up their own tasks. They'll go here, they'll pick up their task, they'll understand what is the requirement, they'll go to the requirement, they'll understand requirement, and they will move that requirement to the in progress. Okay, every day your task should be something like this. So once you will get your tickets, if you know Jira, people are working in real time, they'll get to know. So whenever you're being assigned with any of the requirements, so you have to pick up that task, you have to move that into the progress, and once the developers are ready, they'll move into the test, ready to test. So what developers will do, developers will pick the task from the to-do list and they'll move into the progress. They'll complete the task, they'll move the task, or they'll move that activity into the ready to test. As I said you, the whole development will not be happen as part of Agile. What is Agile is basically it's a step-by-step execution, or you can say step-by-step process. So what they will do as part of sprints, they will take simple sections. Suppose they want to take a section in Agile in one sprint. So what they will do, they will do step-by-step activities. So if you could see here, suppose in my application, if you could see, if I possibly go to the issues or project backlog, so here you can see that all the stories been assigned. Okay, you can able to see, right? These are called stories. These are called stories which are been assigned. Okay, if you could able to see, the stories are been assigned here. Okay, the stories has been assigned. These are called stories. Stories means there are the requirements. So they'll say read only. There should be some card that should be created. There should be something that has to be created. Zoning should be happen. Display full text is not work. So these are all stories which will be assigned to multiple people. So they have to pick up, all the test engineers will pick up test engineer stories, developers will pick up test developer. All this will be created by the Scrum Master. Scrum Master will create the requirements for everyone who will be I mean, he will not create it, he will try to assign to the developers, assign to people, but creation will be done by the business analyst. All these requirements will be done by the business analyst. So once the business analyst is completed, so what he will do, he will try to he will try to move that requirements to the developers. So once the developers are completed with their task, they will move the task to the ready to test. As we have seen here, they will move the task to the ready to test. So you can see, right? You can see. So these are all requirements. Once every day people has to work on this. So once they will move into progress, they will complete the task, they will develop, they'll move into the ready to test. After it has been moved to ready to test, now it is a work of test engineer. Our work, we have to pick up all the things, we have to see whether they are working, we have to test it thoroughly, we have to do manual testing, we have to do automation if there is any requirement to be done for that. So after completing our testing, we have to move the task to the done. Okay, you're getting, right? The process has to be moved to the done. So done means completed, the task is completed. So this is the process. So the Scrum Master will be assigning the task, business analyst will be creating the stories, product owner is the responsible person for the product, whole product, developer will be completing the task, test engineer will be done the task, and then DevOps engineer. DevOps engineer will come only in the picture when there is a deployment requirement. So whenever you want to deploy your application, for if there is any changes or any fixes to be done, or if I want to deploy that into UAT, or if I want to deploy that into production, so the deployment engineers will come and then they'll try to do the possibilities, all the things. So this is the complete process of Agile. So every day what you're supposed to do, this is what you're supposed to do as part of, if you're into Agile, 99% all the companies in the world who are into IT are into Agile. Okay, 99% all the companies in the world are in Agile now. So every day the task will be like this only. You'll be assigned with some tickets, or you can say everything in Jira is called issues. You will be assigned with some issues. You have to take up the task, complete the task every day, and then move the task to the done. Okay, so you have to know the process how it happens. So it is like a sprint wise explanation. The whole thing is like sprint wise process. Okay, got it right? Jira is a tool that we'll be working. I hope everyone understood what is the process that we are supposed to do on everyday basis. I'll explain you guys. I'll explain you when we are into the picture. I hope you have got it right. So it is like a step by step. Agile means what? It is not a whole process. They'll pick up some tasks. Suppose today I want to develop this one. Only for this one, the whole activity will run. For this one, they will assign to the developer. This one, the testing will happen. For this one section, everything will happen. So what I mean to say here is, it is making sure that we'll be having a everyday stand-up meetings. You can say Scrum calls, which will be connected by a Scrum Master. He will be responsible. He will be asking us every day. So what is your progress today? Is there any blockers for you, or how you're planning to maintain it? So the Scrum Master is a person who will make sure that whole process is happen, okay, on time and everything is complete. Yeah. Any doubts, guys? Any doubts for anyone? Any doubts
Yeah,
for
like
anyone?
I have
Yeah.
small doubt. Like in release, there are, for example, 10 stories.
Yeah.
So like how they will decide the how many sprints will be there for that release?
That depends. That
Generally,
depends.
for
See,
every
that
release, there will be 4 sprints. It's commonly
no,
everyone will say.
no, no. That depends. See, that is a depend. So there is something called product release. Suppose you are working for a product development company. So our company stakeholders, or you can say business people, will try to release the product into real time. So they want to release their product into the market. So if they want to release their product, they want to make sure this process is completed. The whole process is completed. Only then they can move this. So normally how it happens, developers will be developing the application in the dev environment. They'll move that application in the int environment. Okay, all the test engineers will do the testing in the int environment. Then they will move that application into the UAT environment. After the testing is happening in the UAT, they'll be releasing into the product. They'll release into the prod environment. That is like it is release, product release. So these are the different environments that will be there as part of your application. So what normally it is, basically developers will try to move that into the int environment, and after int it will be in the UAT testing will happen. UAT testing will happen, then they'll release into the product. So we cannot say how many sprints is basically required. That depends on the complexity of the requirements. See, that has to be the decision of the product release has to be taken from the senior management. They'll be making sure that the whole testings, the UAT testing, int testing, in the int environment testing and UAT testing is completely happened, and every functionality is working properly, and there are no bugs at that point of time. Everything are fixed. Then they will try to move to product. That depends on the team. That depends on the senior management when the product has to be released and what are the features has to be released. All these things will be decided by team. We cannot say how many sprint differences it is. That is, there is no guarantee. I mean, there is no particular. Maybe in your company it is that way, but there is no particular specification that every company has to release this sprint stories into production. So there is no particularity. Making sure that every testing is happened in the int environment and the UAT environment completely without any bugs, and if there are any bugs that are fixed and they are retested and then they are closed, then they'll be releasing into the product. So this is what exactly the process happens. Okay, got it right? Okay, so what happens, the developers will develop it application. Once they develop the application, they'll move that application into a different environment, because they'll get a clash, right? If they are developing something and they are testing, some test engineers are testing, changing some data, it will be a problem. So they'll move into a different environment. So got it right? I'll give you example. See, here you can see my application. This is an int environment. Int environment means this is applicable for all the people who can test it. Okay, not only just testing it. So if I want to move this application into the UAT environment, the same application, you can see there are something that is not deployed in UAT. If you could see some functionality over here, if I click on this, it is opening something like this. If I write some data, you see the UI. The UI is different over here. UI is like this, right? This is in which environment, guys? This is in int environment. If you could see the same application which is in different environment, okay, there you cannot able to get it, because the reason it is not deployed in UAT environment. So once every testing is completed in int environment, then the development, then that will be moved to the what do you say, that will be moved to the UAT environment. UAT is nothing but user acceptance testing. So all the business people, all the test business people will be testing that. The whole process will be tested. So alpha and beta testing will be happened as part of unit. You can see as part of your UAT environment. You can see right. This application is different one now. It is different. So if you could see the same application here, if you could see the same application, this is a different URL. So in real time, this is what happens, guys. So it will be a different environment. Name may be different in companies, but the whole process has to be like this. The whole process has to be like this. You can see, if you see this environment, if you could see this environment. So there are some of the tasks that are not being the same as this environment. Okay. You could see, if I just try to, pick up some task, okay, I'll try to pick up some task. So here, if I try to pick up some task, okay, if you could see, there are some changes that is done in int is not been applicable. So that means this change is not moved. You can see, right? If I want to add some drug over here, see the UI of it is different. The UI of it is different. Okay, the UI of it is different. It is, see, the UI of it is different. The UI is different here. Okay, the UI is different here for drugs section. Okay, if you see the same UI over here in the drug section, that is different. That means this is not deployed. This is not deployed into the, see the UI here, it is different. If I add a drug, that the UI is different. Here you see it is coming different way. See, it is coming different way, unresolved, resolved. But the same thing, if you see here, unresolved, resolved, it is like this. It is not making difference. So it is not opening a new window. It is not calling different API. So there is the API. See, in application, there are multiple APIs into picture. Suppose if I want to, I'll give you example. Suppose it is calling a different API, right? API has been called. API has been called means it's a different application. It is trying to hit a different application, and it is getting a response from that, so that you can able to view all the data here. Right? So we are also going to see how API has been called, what are the different validation to be done, how exactly the API testing will be done in real time, and everything will be seen. So for a particular application, you may have multiple things. You may have a API testing, you will be having, UI testing, you will have to do functional testing, DB testing, multiple things you have to do. A test engineer is called as a complete test engineer only when he knows all the aspects. He can be good in DB testing, good in API testing, good in web testing, okay, UI testing. Okay, sometimes they'll also ask for performance. Okay, they'll also ask for API, mobile testing. So you should be strong in all these things so that you can survive anywhere in any company. Okay, you can get hundreds of calls every day. You see, if you see, like take up I'll get around some 20-30 Naukri calls every day, making sure that all these things. So the thing what I want to say you majorly, if you're good, your resume is very good, very strong, you'll get calls by default. You'll get hundreds of calls every day. You'll be fed up with that. So what I mean to say you here is, make sure that you're strong in all the aspects. What is the market standards, whatever the market is asking. Majorly the market requirement is here UI testing and API testing. They'll be more focusing, and DB to some extent, more focusing on these three areas. I want everyone to be strong in these three areas. Okay, we'll also cover that part. Okay, so this is a very normal explanation for this. I hope you're getting right. Okay, so this is the complete explanation for this. What is Agile, how it happens. So you could see, right? You could see that URLs are different. The process is see here it is different. The same section here it is different. The same section here it is different. The same section here, if you are clicking on it, it is opening a different UI again. The separate UI is open instead of just getting the drop downs. So it is in different environment. You can see it is in UAT environment. UAT. So when the product will release in real time, so what happens whenever the int changes are being tested and then UAT changes are being tested, so then the test engine and all the people, the business people will think that okay, this application is completely safe, everything is fine, then they will release to the production. That means they'll release to the live, all the people who can able to see the changes in the application, they can able to see. This is what every company maintains. Every company in the world will try to maintain their process. Okay. So the step-by-step execution, see, one by one, see, the whole application is not changed. The only changes happened is like only this section. So the only section is changed. Like that, the development will be happened on the section wise, one by one section, one by one step, one by one feature. So it is all about a step-by-step process where all the stakeholders. So what happens? Developers will come into a call. In the stand-up call, developers will come into picture. Test engineers will come into picture. Business analyst will come. Scrum master will come. Product owner will come. Everyone will come. They will understand what is the changes that is happened. They'll say if there are any blockers, they will discuss there. So it will be like a step-by-step execution. But whereas in the waterfall model, until the whole development is done, the test engineer has to keep it quiet. Okay, so whole application is completed, the test engineer has to test it. So it is not a right model, it is not been implemented. People wants a step-by-step process and step-by-step productivity, so that we can make sure that the whole thing is going well. Okay, and everyone will be into one picture, in one section, in one one be gathered together. So that is a major advantage of agile process. Every company in the world, almost every company in the world is following the agile process. Okay, if people who are into real time, they will get to know what is agile, how I mean the process works and everything. Is that fine, people? Is that fine, everyone? Is that fine, guys?
Yes,
Any things you want me to say more? People, you already know the process. You have been working some years, so by this time you'll I mean, and other people who doesn't know, they'll get to know. Yeah, guys, so let me just move into the Python concepts. I will not discuss much today. As I said, this demo class is again a big process where I have to discuss the syllabus and all. So majorly that should not be there. There should be a class starts, because you know the syllabus, right? So coming to the Python concepts, we'll be discussing about installation initially. How do we install Python in our system? Okay, the first step we'll see installation. So let me show the installation for Python. So people, are you ready, everyone? So you can go to the Google and type on Python download. Okay, you can go to the Google and type on Python download. Once you click on Python download, it will open a different URL. This is called python.org downloads. I hope you are getting right. Python.org download. This is the website where you can able to get your Python. So once you got this, you can go through the latest version. There are multiple versions you can able to see. If you want a particular version, you can search here, but the latest version is 3.9.0. just go and click on this. Once you click on it, it will try to open it. I'm not clicking on it because the reason it is already there in my system, but not the latest version. So once you do it, once you click on this, otherwise I'll explain. Once I click on it, it will be downloaded in my system. Okay. Once it is downloaded, you have to install it. You have to install that application. Okay. See, it is installed, right? It has been downloaded. Once it is downloaded, see, it is open source. As I said, it is open source. It can be downloaded from internet. Okay, you can just click on click on it. Once you click on this, so please be patient, guys, who already know it. So try to use this statement, add 3.9 to path. this is a very big important thing. You have to add your path. You have to add to the path so that it can be recognized anywhere in the system. Just to click on install now. You're getting right? Are you getting right what I'm saying? Click on install now. It will be installed in your C user somewhere in this folder. It will be installed. Or if you want a particular location you want to install, you can go to customize installation. Okay. Sorry. Normally it will be installed there only. I'm just keeping read right. So see, I don't want it. If you want any other installations to be done, see, if I want any other customized installation, I want PIP to be included. PIP is Python index package. You can see all your packages can be installed from PIP. You need to have that. Okay. You want PyLauncher as soon as it's downloaded. You want PyLauncher to be there. It can be there for all users. For all users, if you want, or if you want a particular user, you can keep. So this is not a big task. If you want, you can select all these things. So basically you have to do this default installation because it will be installed in this folder. Okay, you can just go and check that application. Just go and click on this. Once you click on it, the installation will be happen. Okay, it will ask yes. Then once it is completed, I'm canceling it because I have it already. It will be a problem for me. Once it is completed, it will come as setup successful. Okay, once you get setup successful, that means that your application is installed. Okay, you're getting right what I mean to say here, how to do that. Everyone clear, right? People who are very new doesn't know. People who already know, they knows that. However, clear, right?
Showing some command prompt.
Sorry.
Showing some command prompt.
So yeah. So once you have installed, you have to restart your system. Okay, once you have installed, you have to restart your system, and you can type. Once you type Python, okay, once you type Python, you can see that the version which I already have. I have 3.8.3. Okay, the version I already have. It can be shown here. Okay. So if you are also downloading the system and installing it, please go on mute. No, please go on mute. Naresh, please go on mute. Yeah, thank you. So if you have installed it, so once after installing, you have to restart it. Once you restart it, when you type Python -, so you can see the version of Python. Okay, you can see the version because I don't install it now because I already have a different version in my system. It will be a conflict, so that is the reason I did not install. But the process is that way. Going here, clicking on install, customize install, and adding that to the path. So instead of that, you'll get a message: setup successful. Restart that application. Restart your system. Then when you type Python -, version, you can see the version. The version should be Python 3.9.0. I hope everyone clear, right? Everyone clear, right? Everyone clear, right? Guys, everyone clear, right?
Yes.
Clear,
Yes.
right? Everyone? Yeah. So this is the way you install it. Tomorrow I want everyone to be installed this Python in their system. Okay. I want everyone. This is a very small step we are seeing. We'll go step by step as our syllabus is been mentioned. There are people who are freshers there, who are experienced. So it will be like a revise for people who already knows Python, and it will be like a new for people who are learning Python from the scratch. So it will be like a good exposure for you. If you know already, if you don't know anything, it will be helpful for both of them. So we'll be seeing the Python basic because see in interview, any interview you go for maybe Java or Python Selenium, questions 40% of questions out of 100 will in interview will be asked on the core concepts of that language. Maybe it is a Python or Java. If you're going for Java, they'll ask you core concepts of Java. If you're going for Python, they'll ask you core concepts of Python. Okay, so you are supposed to have a very good exposure to this concepts. If you know the concepts, then you can able to easily try to crack that part, that section of your interview. Okay, that section of your interview. Very clear. I'm saying I do like almost 2 to 10 interviews every week or every month, maybe near to that. So my procedure, if I want to ask you, I'll ask you 40% of the questions from the core concepts, maybe a technical questions, maybe the programming questions I'll be asking, and almost 30% I'll be asking about the Selenium perspective, 20% about the real time I'll ask, and then 10% about I'll be asking about the API and other stuff. So this is what I'll try to structure myself, and almost every interviewer will structure according to their requirement. Because in interviews, when we take interviews, we'll get a clear requirement basis. We'll see whether he's technically strong, communication strong, he's good in API, he's good in CI/CD task, he's good. Every task they'll be asking us to mark the people or to check their capabilities. So I want everyone to have a good exposure to every task. Okay, core concepts, CI/CD task, agile process, okay, automation technique, framework development, everything. Then you can crack any interview. So make sure that you're preparing your schedule in very structured way. Okay, I'll explain you, don't worry. I'll explain you the structured way how we can able to plan ourselves. Okay, people who already attended interviews, they'll get to know what is the requirement and what is that, what I'm saying and all. Okay, got it right, everyone? Yeah, please speak out, no? Please speak out, no? Everyone? Anyone? Hello?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. You already know it, what we've been discussing. Yeah, so today I want everyone to install this Python in their system. So tomorrow onwards we'll be starting, because all these concepts, step by step, all these concepts will be starting. So we'll complete in 1 week, maybe 1 week or 10 days max. 1 week, hardly 1 week, will complete this Python. Then we'll start with Selenium and all. Okay. So don't worry, guys. We are going to see from the scratch, everything from the scratch to extreme level, to development framework level. Okay. So we'll start with the basics first. Okay. Clear, right, everyone?
One question.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the installer would be the same for all OS, like Windows,
No.
Windows.
It is particularly Windows. For Linux, the process Linux, normally Unix system by default Python is being provided. Okay, Python is their default in Unix. Otherwise you can able to get it. You can able to install it. The procedure for different OS is different. This is particularly for Windows. So I request everyone to have Windows in their for their what do you say, for their usage. Is that fine? Is that fine?
Yes.
It is particularly for Windows, the process what I say.
Okay.
But 90% nowadays Unix, all the Unix flavors, they are getting Windows, Python default in their system. Okay, been installed default. Otherwise you can use some sudo commands, you can install. There is some process. If anyone have a particular requirement, they can approach me separately. I'll explain. Okay, but I request everyone to have Windows. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Any doubts? No doubts, right?
No, thank you.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.